we're moving on to a topic that I thought we would never be able to stop talking about, and that is Odell Beckham, who did not play football in the year 2022. Denny's played 21 games since 2019, 0 of which came last season, and yet he's somehow the most tweeted about athlete in the NFL.
Maybe
and has agents and like PR firms just working overtime. Like, Odell, he's working out. Odell, I saw him at DFW. Just maybe, here the Cowboys might be interested. Non-stop Odell Beckham leaks and chatter from fans. Even though he's on the wrong side of 30 and has one of the most concerning injury histories in the entire league, he has found a new home. He's received a shockingly high salary, like shockingly high salary of $15 million for a guy who, not only over 30, not only with the injury history, he's coming off the second tear of his ACL, I forget which knee, for a team, I guess, just truly desperate for receiver help, a team that is transitioning from Greg Roman's fire and brimstone run-based offense to Todd Monken's very, very pass-happy offense. We don't even know who the quarterback is going to be. I'm just saying a lot of things, expressing my shock, basically, this deal. What do you think about Odell Beckham landing for 1 year, $15 million with the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, he fits the Ravens archetype, right? Wrong side of 30, injury history, probably watched, and bang, we got you. You got to come. You got to come play in Baltimore.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We did. They did. No, it's not good. I mean, for fantasy, I should say. Now, if Beckham's ideal landing spot for fantasy would have been in a somewhat pass-heavy to very pass-heavy offense without a clear-cut target dominator, okay? No teams come to mind. I'm not saying that if he landed in these 5 spots. I'm just saying that would be the ideal.
Yeah, Denny creating a straw man that doesn't exist.
That's what I'm paid to do. But he lands in the complete opposite situation, where he lands in an offense where the targets are dominated by Mark Andrews, just to give folks a feel for that domination. Last year, 29% target share for Mark Andrews. That was 5th among not tight ends, but all pass catchers last year. He was 10th in overall target share the year before, and his 30% air yard share since the start of the 2021 season is insane, and 2nd behind only Travis Kelce among tight ends. So you have that. You have Rashad Bateman maybe ascending, into a wide receiver 1-ish role. Now I say wide receiver 1, not number 1 pass catcher. That's Andrews. So, and you have Todd Monken, who has used in several of his stops in college and the pros, used a lot of 2 tight end sets. You have Isaiah Likely there.
Music to the Ravens' ears.
Look, you have Lamar. If Lamar returns, it's not going to be pass heavy. Okay, let's just say that it
will be pass heavier. It will be pass heavier.
Right. It could be balanced. And I just wanted to read something from last month. Ryan Mink from Ravens.com talked about Todd Monken and what he may or may not do with the Ravens offense. What did you say?
He said he's a good reporter, Ryan Mink.
Yeah. And so, I'll spare you some of the details here, but it says, quote, overall, I think Monken will make the Ravens more balanced and capable of playing different ways. It's no secret that Baltimore has to improve its passing attack, and I think Monken will accomplish that. But you still have a rushing quarterback if Lamar comes back. And honestly, I'm kind of out on secondary pass catchers in offenses quarterbacked by rushing guys, and I don't know. I don't know where Beckham's volume comes from here.
It is weird that Mark Andrews is, of course, like the vortex at the center of like the Ravens targets universe. So that is true. It's also true that even in the most run-heavy offenses, you do need a viable second target, and there's always a backup, like tertiary targets guy. And it's probably a good landing spot for Beckham from that perspective, but it may be a bad landing spot in that it's like so wide open that he might get like forced into the number 1 role if Rashad Bateman isn't healthy or like ready to take the next step, and that would be very, very bad for Odell Beckham. I think really, really just like needs to be like a role player or like a secondary piece at this stage with his age, injury history, all that. And there's also a scenario too then where Rashad Bateman does take a step forward. Nelson Aguilar is honestly one of the better like role playing receivers in the NFL. I mean, we kind of laughed at that signing, but he is good at what he does. It was kind of hard to tell in New England because they're not good at what they do with the passing attack. Man, and then like James Prochet and Devin Duvernay, I mean, I guess I don't know if they will get targets. But I think he needed to be like somewhere that had a very, I don't know. I guess maybe Mark Andrews is that guy. I thought he needed to be somewhere with like a clear-cut, defined number one receiver. I guess Mark Andrews does fit that bill. I don't think it could be like the worst landing spot where there's at least he doesn't have to be like the guy, but it could be like the worst of both worlds where it does remain very run heavy. Mark Andrews' target share remains like abnormally high for a number one. And then Beckham is just needed for more than he can give at this point in the receiver core. And it's just very bad all around.
You know, I could see this turning into something like, maybe not as extreme, but something like when Julio Jones signed with Tampa last year, where people started to chase him. And he got up to like the 8th round of 12-team drafts. Like that was really rich for a guy 33 years old, I think Julio was last year, and hadn't had a good, healthy season in 3 years. It's the same deal. I know Beckham's not that old, but 30.
It's a great comp. I mean, he's over 30. I mean, that's the only number that really matters.
Spring chicken, right? I will say just to give listeners an idea, what target share means in different offenses, because we remember last year being like, oh man, Kyle Pitts has a 35% target share. Well, it came out to 6 targets, so it's not great.
That's on the season.
6 targets all year. So just to give you an idea, so Demarcus Robinson in the second half of the season last year for Baltimore played 9 games, saw a 21% target share that was trailing only Mark Andrews, who had a 25% share, but that worked out to only 5 targets per game. Okay, so this offense, it's going to have to change dramatically, and Beckham's going to have to leapfrog Rashad Bateman in order to possibly justify what his ADP will be. I promise you, his ADP will be ridiculous.